Sunshine, 24 minutes past 7 o'clock. And on the line right now, he is tax expert, John Pollock. Good morning, John. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Tax Day. Here we go. Although we have a couple of extra days here in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as it is appearing and approaching very quickly, and we have to have everything in by midnight on Monday, what any last-minute deductions people shouldn't be forgetting about if they're filing late here?
The really biggest one that you can do at this point, because if you've procrastinated to this point, you have procrastinated, despite the reprieve of 3 days, is really a retirement plan. So if you haven't put into a retirement plan, now's your shot. You know, you can put money into an IRA, put in a few $1,000s. If you're in the 25% bracket, you put in $4,000, you'll save $1,000 in taxes, but you still got to come up with $4,000. So that is the biggest single last-minute deduction that people can use that may have an impact.
Why are we? What is our reasoning for the 18th, by the way, as opposed to the 15th here?
Emancipation.
You know what? I actually do not know the answer to that because
Christine does. Okay,
15th is today. A couple years ago, the 15th fell on a Saturday, so that actually made more sense.
Yeah.
But maybe they're just being. Maybe it's because they're so dysfunctional that they needed the extra 3 days.
That might be it. Christine says it is
because it is Emancipation Day.
Okay, so it's nationwide, the 18th, not just New York?
It is Texas because Emancipation Day is in D.C., so I think anybody...
So that must be where we send ours to Washington. So, okay, in the past...
So it does have to do with their dysfunction.
It is. It's their dysfunction. You're absolutely right. How can... I mean, is it... If you're filing on the 15th or the 18th, and so it's last minute, are you at a disadvantage, advantage, or neither?
It really is neither. Most of the stuff is automated now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're e-filing. Now, I will tell you that if you do paper file, which still is really necessary, it's like if you do a retirement account, you have to show that you actually got the money into the retirement account before the deadline.
Oh.
You actually would have to file paper. And when you do that, you may have to make sure that you've signed your return. Single biggest mistake, unsigned return.
I had, it's funny because my son had filed, and this is really his first time having to the point where he had to, or he made enough money to file. And he got a letter back. It's a whole big thing. They need to prove who he is, and the whole, what is that?
Well, there's been a ton of fraud.
Oh.
So as a result, that especially if there's going to be some refund, and the refund is of a reasonable size, there's been so much fraud, and it's created a tremendous amount of problem. We've had someone in our office that couldn't buy a house because of somebody else committing fraud, and now they owe money, and they didn't owe money, and it was very difficult for them.
And how do you make, if you are filing last minute, which if you're filing now you are, how do you make that as painless as possible? What should you do?
Well, the single biggest thing is if you owe is to send something. Because the biggest thing about the filing deadline is not necessarily a filing deadline, it's the day that the penalties and interest begin.
Okay.
So the more money you can get in, the less penalties and interest are going to be assessed against
Got it. All right. And is it, do you get points for sending something in, even if maybe it's only 1% or even less than that?
No, you just get less penalties and interest.
Just less penalty, yeah.
So you don't get any, there's no gold stars from the IRS.
Yeah. Now, and I've heard one more thing. People say, boy, I would file for an extension, but that is a red flag. Is that true?
I file for an extension every single year.
Okay.
For me, the tax deadline is October 15th.
October 15th. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, because I'm a business. I would rather keep the money in my business and as productive as possible. I don't mind paying the penalties and interest, so I'm one of those rare. I'm actually not that rare. A lot of business owners do this, is they file the extension so they don't have the filing penalty, but then they don't pay their taxes until the 15th.
So even after the interest you're going to pay on what you owe, you still make out better.
Well, in my case, yeah, because for every dollar I spend, say, in radio advertising, I'll get $2 to $3 back. Is it better to send it to the federal government, which is a black hole, or pay them a little bit of interest and keep it in radio?
All right, cool. John Pollock, we appreciate it. You have a website out there, John?
Yeah, go to thetaxblueprint.com.
Got it. John Pollock, thanks, man.
Thank you.
Good luck as we go through the weekend. The Monday deadline is looming. Hey, I have some birthdays here for today, Friday, April 15th. Benjamin Ferner in Sequoit. Happy belated birthday to Benjamin. 80th birthday to Margaret Miller in Oneida. Margaret, we're all going to sing a little happy birthday to you. Ready? She's 80 years old today. Are we ready? Happy birthday to you. Yeah, I'm singing. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Margaret.
Happy birthday to you.
Now the rrestaurant version. Happy birthday.
I just watched
birthday.
Happy birthday. Without the free dessert.
Yeah.
We had
Margaret, 80 years old today. Happy birthday, Margaret Miller.
I also have one that came in last minute. Robert Trout, happy birthday from your brother and sister-in-law. And I don't know what
Benjamin
John and somebody else.
Ferner in Sequoia, happy belated. Sharon, is this our own Sharon down the hallway?
I don't know. It was
Sharon?
just a submission that said Sharon.
Okay. All right. Sharon, happy birthday. Rick Froschauer in Westmoreland celebrating today. Jason DeBold in Utica. I hope I put the accent in the right place there, Jason. Jason DeBold or Jason DeBold. Amy hold on.
I have no idea. So
Jamie Przalski in Barneville is celebrating today. I'm sorry, that's Amy Przalski. And Madeline Mayer in Boonville as well. I butchered my way through these today, and the cake will go to Benjamin Ferner in Sequoia. Happy belated, but you get the cake from the Florentine Pastry Shop on Bleecker Street in Utica. Join the VIP club and submit your birthday online at WIBX950.com. You can send in the birthdays. WIBX Birthdays, 9418 River Road, Marcy 13403. Christine, news next, and we'll know in the next 5 minutes if we're going to be talking to Ronda Rousey this hour, maybe it'll be next hour, and maybe Monday. But Ronda Rousey from the latest movie, the Entourage movie, and, of course, the legendary UFC beautiful fighter who we saw yesterday.
Really
she was gorgeous yesterday.
You have never, ever talked about anybody like this.
Beautiful. It was amazing.
We were trying to figure out what it was that's different. Was it the hair?
That's
Is it
my
her
point.
makeup?
My point is that it's not. I've seen her before. I guess not in person though. But yesterday there was something like a makeover or something. Yesterday she looked really, really good.
We've had some beautiful women on this show, and you have never talked about anyone the way you're talking about Ronda Rousey.
Well, have you seen Vladimir Putin's new girlfriend?
But even she didn't get the response.
She's like drop dead, unbelievable. Hold on, we'll come back. Maybe Ronda Rousey, Eric Trump. At some point later on here this morning, we'll have him as well, obviously, promoting Dad for Tuesday's primary. 7:32 WIBX. Christine has news coming up next.